Alright guys and gals, here we are with today's project. Our 1991 S10 race truck pickup we call the Bone Crusher. What are we going to do to this guy today? Well, probably can't tell from where you're at, but when we did the wet sanding and polishing on this truck, we didn't do the tailgate. So we need to get this intricate lettering, raised lettering sanded and the whole tailgate buffed. Well, as you can see, this truck's pretty low. Teeny, what are you doing, bud? What we're going to do here, we're going to take our little race ramps, okay? As you guys and gals see, I don't have a lift here in my shop. So what we got here are race ramps. They're like foam blocks. And it's a tire cradle, okay? I've learned to love these things because I'm a bigger guy, you know, so it's hard for me to get underneath these trucks and cars. A lot of these are lowered, you know, to the extreme, so they help me do what I need to do underneath the car. So let's get this thing jacked up, put on the race ramps. See there, that gets that thing up in the air pretty high. They're the 12-inch ones, and I'll tell you what, they're lifesavers. We'll get the front jacked up here, and we'll show you how much clearance we actually get with them. Click you back on in a second. All right, guys and gals, now you can see, look what that does for us. That gets our workspace right in our face where we can see and do whatever we need to do. We're going to be sanding on the bottoms here if we need to, touching up any areas that we might have missed because the car was on the ground. Now, I will tell you, you can see, I got a ton of room underneath this thing now. So let's just get you a minute. That's 2 foot. So if you have limited ceiling height like I do here in my shop and Tina does, this is beautiful for when you're trying to do a transmission swap, exhaust work. And another nice thing about these cradles is they literally have wheel chocks built in them. They're like a U, so you don't have to worry about this thing moving around, falling off here, and smashing you. All right? A lot of you guys and gals are like me, you're by yourself a lot. So try to do as much as you can to stay safe. Other advantage of these, later on down the road, we're going to be measuring for a drive shaft. I don't know if you guys and gals have ever run into this. You got a project, you got the rear end hanging, you're trying to get done, you take your measurement, you put the drive shaft in, you put the car on the ground, and all of a sudden your tail shaft smashed. What happened? It's because of the droop. This eliminates any issue like that. Same with building exhaust. If you were building an exhaust with the rear end hanging and did all your clearances and then put the thing on the ground, you might have interference issues. So these things come in handy in so many different applications. We're going to use them today to save our back. So we're going to get our materials and supplies together, and we're going to get going on the Bone Crusher. We'll click you back on when we're ready. All right, guys and gals, we got our friend isopropylene alcohol. We're going to take it on a paper towel here. We're going to wipe this down just to get any residual wax off from our polishing prior. Look at that. Yeah, get that off because we don't want to sand that into our beautiful paint. So we're going to take this, wipe this down. Oh my, flip that around. Let's get some of that off. That way when we start sanding this, we're not gathering any wax particles or any of that and ruining our paper right away, you know? That paper's not cheap. Let's just face it, there ain't nothing cheap these days. So we want to maximize our stuff the best we can. I know it's better just cleaned up, don't it? All right. Well, all right, we'll get this wiped down. We'll click you back on when we're ready. Boy, that's filthy. Look at that. That's why we do it. You don't want to sand that into your fresh paint job. That would be horrible. All right. let that dry and we'll click it back on when we start sanding her down. All right, guys and gals, we're here today with blocks going wild. We got a variety, I mean to tell you. We're gonna bring out the arsenal on this tailgate. We got us a flexi block, okay, for getting in contours and whatnot. And full disclosure, we're gonna have to come back here. There will be some hand sanding done here, and I'll show you how I like to do that, but this is the guy right here is gonna get a lot of these edges and stuff for us. So we're gonna bring him out. Got our friend the squeegee, another contoured block, okay. This is flexible. Got one with a little action going on to it to get up on them edges. You know, you want to be real careful about this. And our 1000 grit, our 1500, and our 3000. We got our water with a little, oh man, a weak string there. Let me get this pumped up. Oh yeah, now we're talking. A little soap in there for lubrication. We got our 1000 purple paper. We're gonna even give that a little drink. All right, we're gonna get this, we'll start sanding this down. Take our time, use our squeegee to help us see where we're at. Get this thing smooth as glass. Remember, we use the water for lubrication and to save our paper. All right, I really feel it gives the paper longevity. And you can see that works that clear up real quick. Now, I wouldn't recommend starting any higher of a grit than 1000 unless you're gonna re-clear, okay? Because these scratches, you're gonna sand scratches in this. 1000's pretty coarse yet. That's why we go back with the 1500 and then the 3000 to get rid of that. Like I said, take your time here, okay? This is the finished product. All you're after is that orange peel. You want to get rid of all the texture. All right, now guys and gals, I've said it before, I don't have a paint booth here at my shop. So therefore, I guess it'd help if you could see what I was doing, huh? You know, I have orange peel, I don't have a heated booth and all that stuff, so this is stuff we contend with, but it's stuff a lot of you guys and gals would have to contend with as well. Don't let it deter you just because you don't have something. There's always a means to the same end result. It might just be a longer pass off. And you'll notice I'm saying it in an X pattern because I want flatness here. That's what I'm after. All right. And another thing you want to keep in mind when doing this, just remember how many layers of clear you have on it. Okay. This truck has multi-stage paint job on it, so I know approximately there's probably 6 layers of clear here, so I'll be safe to sand it completely flat. Still be mindful of your edges and all that good stuff. I'll get this done and I'll click you back on. All right, guys and gals, as you can see, we're starting to make some progress here. Keeping our panel wet, keeping our sanding block wet. And on these little body lines, I like these little flat blocks because it allows you a little more control to keep that flat. And the main objective we're trying to accomplish here is to get rid of all the texture in our clear coat so that we have the best finish we possibly can to show off our paint. So we're going to keep going through here. Sandy, sandy, wipey, wipey, checky, checky, sandy, sandy, wipey, wipey, checky, checky, so forth, so on. But we'll click you back on when we got her all done. All right, guys and gals, as you can see, we got that part knocked out. Sanded down with our 1000 grit. Got our bumper to do. Got around our letters to do. All right, you can see there. Now you can see the difference. Sanded, not sanded. Sanded, not sanded. Okay, so we'll set you up here. Do a little speedy. Get this guy sanded down. We're gonna do this bumper. guys and gals, there you can see. Trying to get that as flat, as smooth as possible. Still could use a little work there. We're just going to slowly take our time and get that sanded down to where it's smooth. Like that. And you can see around our letters here, we got a little more work to do around there too. Alright, we'll save you the fun of watching me finish this. We'll cut you back on when it's time to make this guy shine. Alright guys and gals, we got this thing all sanded down with 1,000. Now we're going to move to our 1,500, then our 3,000, and we're going to start buffing this guy. Alright guys and gals, there we go. We got our hand block with 15, hand block with 1,000, then 1,500. Then we came in here with our DA, our interface pad, which is just a foam cushion pad, and our 3,000 Trizac to get rid of all our scratch marks. Now you guys and gals will notice I like to hand sand a lot, and the reason for that is I had dirt get in between one of those pads one time. I just came in real in a hurry, and it scratched the ever-living you-know-what out of the whole vehicle. And from that day on, I was like, I'll never do that again. So it just gives me an opportunity to listen to the sandpaper, and I know that sounds funny, but for you guys and gals that have sanded cars before, you know exactly what I'm talking about. You can actually hear the dirt underneath the sandpaper. So what that allows you to do, if you're hand sanding, you hear that, you stop, rinse it off, address the issue, carry on. So we're going to get this wiped down here. We're going to get our rotary buffer out, and we're going to shine this guy back up. All right, guys and gals, here we go. We got our Meguiar's Ultra Cut Compound. Extra heavy cut. Oh man, this is serious. That's at 12. Yeah, baby. Another little tip for you guys and gals. Remember how I told you don't ever lay these down? I like keeping mine in a little Ziploc baggie. Same thing. Don't seal them up. And then I keep them in the cabinet to try to keep them as clean as possible. So just a little tip there on how to keep your rags. Keep them so you can keep using them. All right, we'll get this rotary buffer fired up. Start to get the shine back in this guy. You can see, guys and gals, starts to get the shine back. Starting to get that deep reflection. Oh yeah. We'll keep going here and get this thing all shined up, looking pretty. We'll bring you back in, let you check it out. Alright, guys and gals. Step 1 of polishing completed. Let's see if I can get this light on here. Look at all the sparkles in that. Whew. Down here with our engine turn letters, that's all silver leaf. It's all engine turned. I'm old school, guys and gals, if you ain't figured it out yet. Gamma ray, yeah. See, we did the fade on that as well. And that's crushed glass. the whole back half of the truck's done like that. And a lot of you will notice, yeah, no space in between that tailgate and the bed anymore. We made her all one piece. You know, and then this down here, I did this for 2 reasons. All right, that allow the water, if there ever gets any water in my bed, they come out. And that's a brake light, turn signal, reverse light in there. Yeah, one of those strip lights. Just a little added feature. But the neat thing is I put it up on the top, so when it glows down so you don't see all the little, you know how you see the little diodes and them LEDs? I didn't want to see all that. But there you go. Step 1 complete. Let's get the rest of the steps done and get this tailgate wrapped up so we can get her shining like the rest of the truck. All right. Click it back on when we get her done. Look at that reflection. That's what you're after. All right, guys and gals, fine cut cleaner. Grit 5. We're gonna use our foam pad on this and get her knocked out. There you go. We'll repeat that process throughout the whole tailgate. Get this baby looking good. Click it back on when we get to that point. All right, guys and gals, we're back on our 91 S10 pickup truck bone crusher. Got that all polished up now. Wet sanded down, polished back. And a lot of you'll notice I don't have taillights in this because I haven't decided what I'm going to do for taillights yet. There you can see that engine turn. What you got, buddy? Oh, octopus today. Okay. Just gives those letters another dimension. Our gamma in there. For you guys and gals that don't know what the gamma ray is from, it's from the Incredible Hulk. So now you might understand the colors of the truck. But I don't call it the Incredible Hulk. I call it the Bone Crusher. Oh yeah. Our side's all polished up again. Now we're getting that reflection we're looking for. What are you doing, buddy? Getting that depth that we're after. Oh yeah. Like I said, we got a lot of time in this paint job in this truck, but as you can see, a little bit of time, a little bit of energy, come up with a pretty cool end result. Alright guys and gals, that finishes up our paint and body on the exterior of our 91 S10, the Bone Crusher. We're going to start getting into some mechanical fabrication stuff on this truck, get this thing ready to get put together and hit the streets. Alright guys and gals, you know why we do it. For the love of hot rods and horsepower. Go out there and get yourself a project. start enjoying it. We'll catch you on the next one.